New York Times columnist David Brooks is out with a new book, The Second Mountain, The Quest for a Moral Life. It's a faith-centered look at how there's more to life than just a person's success.
That's right. More on that in the coming weeks. But today, CBN chief political analyst David Brody sat down with Brooks, who is not a big fan of President Trump. They discussed concern over evangelical support for the president and how Trump has changed the media model.
What do you make of what's been going on right now, at least in the church, or at least in the faith world, about Donald Trump and some of what's been exposed through what Donald Trump has said and done?
Yeah. I think I know a lot of people who call themselves evangelicals. They're a lot of my closest friends. I know a lot of people who used to and don't anymore. And among that group, they say evangelical turned from being an adjective to a noun. And that means it used to be a way of being a Christian, and frankly a joyful way of spreading the gospel. And then it became a group. And I think that was because pollsters started asking, are you evangelical or not? And so suddenly it became a label and a group, and then it became a group to attack and a group to defend. And that's not a way of doing things, it's just another tribe. And so I think a tribal mentality is seeped in. And I think that's led into a sense of we're besieged, the culture's out to get us. And frankly, coming from Jewish worlds, I was like, culture's out to get you, you're 38% of the country. Well, we are too.
Yeah.
We know what it's like to be a minority. And there's great power in being a creative minority. And just embrace that. If the rest of the world doesn't want to be, just embrace what you are. And I go to Christian colleges a lot, and I always say you shouldn't feel besieged. You have what the country wants. The country is spiritually hungry. They want a moral vocabulary. They want a sense of they can have faith in something. They want to know how their soul is doing. People do. And a lot of people don't have any vocabulary to describe how am I doing spiritually. Christian schools, they talk about that with their students every day. And so that's a great resource that should be celebrated. So I always think you're in a position of strength, not a position of weakness.
Have you seen any positives at all in President Trump at all? I mean, in terms of positives, I mean, for the country potentially, maybe not from a free market, or I say free market, but from a traditional conservative weekly standard type of situation.
Well, there are a couple of things that I always say he was the wrong answer to the right question. That a lot of people have had real concerns. They voted for him for a real reason. There were problems in the country that were being ignored by elites. And he understood that. The second thing he understands is it's not 1984 anymore, and the Republican Party of 1984 is not right for today. And so some of the things, I'm a big free trader, but some of the policies toward China I like. I think he's doing the right thing toward China.
You've been in the mainstream media for a while, as all different sorts of jobs, obviously a columnist and a commentator. Donald Trump, the enemy of the people. I know it's, you know, the media has been very clear that's dangerous and all of that, but I'm just wondering if there's something to that, and I don't mean necessarily the enemy of the people, but I mean what he has tapped into, that he's jiving with a lot of folks that feel the same way, and if the media should be a little bit more introspective rather than kind of always either blaming Trump or blaming the Mark Levins of the world and the Rush Limbaughs of the world.
Right. Yeah, I do think just in terms of the mainstream media, listen, a lot of us come from coastal demographics. That's just the reality of the thing. I think the thing I worry most about is the business model we can slip into, where even if I'm a print journalist, now I'm a broadcast journalist. I know what columns get better read. And my bosses tell me, don't worry about it, just write what you want. But I sort of know that model is up there. I want to drive traffic. And how do I drive traffic? I write something nasty about Donald Trump. And I'm afraid we've fallen into the habit of making him our business model. And one of the things that we should do is figure out what's life going to look like after Trump, when we no longer have this very convenient battle to wage. And so I do think it can get just boring. I don't like Trump, but it's just boring to me to read another column. So,
but he's good for business.
He's good for business. And so I do worry a little that some people and some publications fall into that trap.